After the arrival of new manager Gabriel Marquage, the club had high hopes of survival. Those hopes were put to the test in their first league game against Adelaide Victory. Adelaide Victory, after recruiting very well during the off-season, went into the game as hot favourites. After a set-piece clearance from Adelaide Victory's defence, the ball went to the feet of Dominic Taladera, which, after a great solo run, finished of the play with a well-taken shot to give the 1-0 lead to the home team at half-time. The Saints came out firing and equalised shortly after thanks to a beautiful play of Nicolan Matia, who found Diego Ramos in the box, which set it up a Marku Ilul for the equalising goal. Despite having the better of the chances during the second half, it was Adelaide Victory who went into the scoresheet again thanks to a goal of Paul Belfari. The Saints weren't giving up, and after a corner routine, Victory's goalkeeper pushes from the back David Preca and the referee blowed the whistle for a penalty. It was captain Diego Ramos going into the spot and converting the penalty kick to share the points of one apiece. In round 2, the Saints had to face Fulham United in front of their home fans. After a scrappy first half, it was Fulham United that started to control the game and took the lead early in the second half, courtesy of Matthew Davies thanks to a shot from outside the box. After the 1-0 loss at home, the Saints had to travel at the Hawks' Nest, one of the most difficult grounds to play on thanks to its geographic location. Nonetheless, the Saints started the game in the front foot, and after a succession of long throws from vice-captain Herman Fombassen, it was Nicolan Matia that picks up a loose ball in the box, brings it down and beats the Hawks goalkeeper thanks to a low shot. During the second half, it was all Hawks, and thanks to some heroics from Dawson Bojanic and Diego Ramos, the score stayed 0-1 for the Saints. After a week on a high with full of confidence, the Saints came crushing down to earth in round 4 thanks to a thumping defeat for 8-0 at home against Playford City. The first half finished 3-0. The day got even worse when new recruit Tawab Taufik received the marching orders from referee Peter Thomas. Following a week off, the Saints had to go and face local powerhouse club West Adelaide at TK Shutter Reserve. The encounter started with possession shared evenly and with no many chances of serious note. That was until minute 33, when Diego Ramos receives the ball and pinpoints a great lob pass to Nicolan Matia, who runs at the opposition fullback and goes past him and shots at goals, beating the opposition goalkeeper. It seemed the score was remaining 1-0 to the Saints, but Nicholas Stephanopoulos had other intentions and made it 1-1. The game restarted more or less the same as it ended, with both sides sharing possessions and goal-scoring opportunities. As it happened in the first half, the team seemed to be content with the sharing of points, but West Adelaide sub Nico Andre had his own plans and decided to punish the Saints and go in the scoresheet to make it 2-1 to the home team, leaving the Saints empty-handed despite a great display of football. In round 6, the Saints were back in home soil to face the high-flying Modbury. The Jets were on top of their game from start to end, and they cruised past the Saints. Modbury performed magnificently and they grabbed the 3 points as well as another clean sheet thanks to a 3-0 win, leaving the Saints helpless. The Saints were on a 3-match losing streak and they needed to deliver a big performance if they wanted to have any hopes to stay afloat. And they surely did. They travelled to Carnage Reserve to face top 6 side Western Strikers. The Saints were full of confidence going into this match thanks to the late inclusion of interstate import Tawab Taufik. The trio Ramos, Matia and Taufik were untouchable, and it all started with Nicolan Matia at the 8th minute when he dribbled past the striker's defence and smacks the ball into the post. Minutes later, it was Ramos who misses a glamorous chance after a Taufik cut back. It was again the trio creating problems for the striker's defence, but this time around when the ball arrives to Matia's feet, he puts it past the opposition goalkeeper and makes it 1-0. Just before half-time, it was Matia combining with Taufik who should have made it 2-0. The second half started as a replay of the first, with Taufik attacking the right flank and creating numerous problems to the opposition. It wasn't until the 88th minute that the game felt secured with Nicolan Matia's goal that sent the Saint supporters in delirious. Minutes later, youngster Marcus Ilul finds the back of the net thanks to some great footwork of Nicolan Matia, making it 3-0. In round 8 was time to face league leaders White City. Despite missing crucial players like Nicolan Matia and Alexander Marquage for this match, the Saints were confident in their own abilities, and they proved it when at the 8th minute, after a flick from Herman Fombassen and Diego Ramos, Tawab Taufik finds himself 1v1 against the goalkeeper and places the ball in the back of the net. It was again Taufik showing that he wants to be the main man today. When he gets at the end of a diagonal ball from Richard Sokiri, he goes inside the box and gets pulled down by a White City defender, but the referee Henry Day waves off and the play keeps going. White City came out firing in the second half, and at the 72nd minute they found the equalizer, courtesy of Evan Kunavelis. Though, the celebrations didn't last longer because Marcus Elul decided to do something that only him is able to do. He controls the ball after a clearance and hits the ball with his left peg from 30 yards, sending it where goalkeeper Chamberlain can't reach. The game wasn't over yet as the referee Henry Day at the 78th minute points for a penalty, which gets converted by Evan Kunavelis. In round 9 the Saints had to travel to the paddocks to verse Para Hills Knights. It was the Saints the most dangerous of the two sides early on the half, with Diego Ramos hitting the ball on the crossbar and then Nicolan Mattia first hitting the ball just wide of the post and then dribbling inside the box from the left flank, but his shot was straight into the hands of Jordan Findlay. The Knights at the 53rd minute mark regained possession after the Saints committed an atrocious mistake in the defensive third, which played a major role on the Knights' goal. It was Yusuf Ahmed who scored the solo goal of the match, giving the Knights their fourth win of the season. In round 10 the Saints travelled to Jack Smith Park to verse West Torrens Burkalla under lights. The game started uphill for the Saints, with Jake Monaco finding the back of the Saints' net inside 5 minutes. At the 25th minute, Tyrese Conway made it 2-0 for Burkalla. At the 64th minute it was 3-0 to Burkalla. Then 5 minutes later it was again Tyrese Conway's head that punished the Saints' defense. Burkalla found another goal in the dying moments of the game, making it 5-0 for the home side. After the postponement of round 11 due to the weather, the Saints went into round 12 with great level of confidence. They versed Adelaide Victory at Athelston Reserve. The Saints started brightly and could have been 2 goals up inside 35 minutes. At the second minute the Saints could have took the lead, after a pinpoint delivery from Marcus Elul found Gianni Coretti's head. Minutes later it was vice-captain Herman's delivery that found Markai's head but couldn't convert. It was again Markai in the mix of the action, tapping in a ball from Diego Ramos, but the VAR assistant Sajjad Hosseini flags for offside and the goal gets disallowed. Victory made the Saints pay for their missed chances at the 41st minute mark, after some horrible defending by the Saints. The second half started with the Saints on the front foot, and at the 56th minute it was again the Tower Markai that gets at the end of Marcus Elul's corner but couldn't convert. There was the feeling that the goal was coming, and that feeling became reality at the 64th minute, when Herman Fombasson receives the ball and sends Nicolan Mattia for a 1v1 against the goalkeeper. Nicolan made it 1-1. At the 84th minute Herman launches a ball into the box where a perfect teamwork from Markai helps Coretti to fire a shot that unfortunately for the Saints went straight into the post. There was still time for one last opportunity, and that opportunity came from a short corner. Nicolan plays the ball to Herman for a 1-2 and delivers it in the back post where Richard Sokiri was waiting. In round 13 the Saints were back on the road to face Fulham United in a must-win match. Jim Karatz's man set themselves up in a 4-5-1 shape and were dangerous on the counter. However, neither team seemed likely to score. That was until the 73rd minute mark, when their talisman Nicolan Mattia intercepted a pass in the midfield and played a quick 1-2 with Mori Balou, then made one of his outbursting runs down the flanks and got pulled down by a Fulham defender, which for referee Andrew Chiti was a clear penalty. It was the Saints talisman stepping up to convert the penalty and sending the Saints fans ballistic. Jim's men were pushing for a second that could have come in the 83rd minute or the 90th minutes. After that, Nicolan Mattia makes another outbursting run box to box and plays a delicious ball to Angelo Salamone, which couldn't find the finishing touch.